Should have Breeze topic number 7 tonight. A further delve into Haitian voodoo and practices. This came with a link. Hold on. Let's check out the link, and we'll discuss it all on the other side.
Usually bras fit small-chested women like this.
Gapping. You guys, look at and Sase Deuxième Chanel and Jodia. We are going to be talking about the Orisha or the Loi Obatala. Now, I decided we are going to debut a little bit into African spirituality, African voodoo today, and speak about an Orisha who is also found in the Haitian voodoo religion as a loi, because I found Obatala to be insanely interesting, and I feel like there's not many people in Haitian voodoo that necessarily serve Obatala. So comment down below, give all the information you can if you have more information about Obatala, because this one, I could say I'm not too well versed in, okay? I got to admit, but I will share the information that I have found. All resources will be linked down below. Shout out to all my Africans and any other people in the diaspora that are watching this video. Obatala is a very, very highly respected loi. He is actually the sky god, seated at the right hand of the Father. And you guys are probably like, wait, that sounds so familiar. And it is, because he is synchronized with none other than Jesus Christ. Now, there's other loi that also have the whole synchronization with Jesus Christ, but Obatala, yeah, he kind of has the upper hand with that one. Obatala is a very, very important figure. Now, understand, Obatala is actually gender fluid in most cases. And depending on what culture we're talking about, it could be a lot of different things. So I'm going to be talking about Obatala in a very general sense, all right? So Obatala could be found in Latin American, Caribbean, African cultures, their folk religions or voodoo religions. So depending on what we're talking about, it could be different, it could change. So there can be some conflicting information here and there. You have to do your own research. Again, like I said, feel free to chime in below. But Obatala is a very, very powerful spirit. Obatala is actually one of the very few Orishas that actually was a person in real life. If you guys have not been here, a loi and an Orisha is equivalent, and an Orisha and the loi are basically spiritual governance, okay? They are here to guide us through life and help us through life. They are like God's right-hand men, okay? Or women, or whatever, because sometimes they're gender fluid, like Obatala. They are here to basically be the mediator between us and God, the ancestors, whatever the case may be. They are not to replace gods like the common misconception is. When you do your research on loi, orishas, or anything of the sort, you're always going to be like, oh, this is the god of this, the god of that. They're not necessarily calling them a god that replaces God. This is just their governance, their jurisdiction, okay? Obatala is actually the sky God. Before I keep going with this video, I can't say anything right. I can't even say majority things in Creole, right? Let alone English, all right? So, I mean, absolutely no disrespect. If I'm saying anything wrong, I deeply apologize. Please feel free to correct me down below, because don't be about that deal, all right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, there's a few things we need to understand before we continue with this video. Now, just like Haitian voodoo, with a lot of African voodoo types of religions, I'm just going to speak in a very general sense here, because we're mainly talking about Yoruba culture, but for For the most part, most voodoo religions, the way it works is they believe that there is a god. In this case, there's Allah Dumar. Now, again, I'm probably not saying it right, I apologize. And God has assistants in a way. And these people, these assistants, these spirits, the Lwa or Rishas are here to help us and guide us through anything that we may need and mediate with us between this world and the world that we cannot see, and mediate between us and the spiritual realm. Some of the Orishas were actual people and have then become Lwa when they have since passed on. Same thing as Lwa. So very similar things as that we're talking about here. Not that much different. You know how they say same slaves, different stock? Same shit here. I've always heard of Obatala being a him. So if I slip and I say him, I apologize. But Obatala is gender fluid. Okay, so keep that in mind. Can be a he, can be a she, can be whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, Obatala is the sky god. Okay, lives in the skies up above and is synchronized with Jesus, but a little bit different than what you might think of the typical Jesus type of culture. What did Obatala do to become a Lwa? Like, why is Obatala a Lwa? Well, Obatala was actually king and founder of the land in Africa called Ife. And God basically enlisted Obatala to create Earth and create humans. So he gave him a chicken, depending on the origin story that you're listening to and the version of events, okay? He gave him a chicken with some dirt and maybe a few other resources, and he said, look, go create some land. And he did that. God sent a chameleon to go check on what Obatala did. He said, all right, there's some land down there, it's starting to spread or whatever. We got something cooking. God said, all right, good job. Now here's some clay. Now a lot of you guys are like, oh my God, humans are made from clay. Where have you heard that from? The Quran. Exactly. Now he said, I need humans. Go make people. Gave him clay, went right back to earth, started to create us. And this is why Obatala is so important. He is responsible for why we are the way we are, why we look the way we look, and why we are here today. Now, sadly, Obatala done messed up. Obatala was tempted with some palm wine and he got lit while he was creating us, and he made some not so perfect people. Were they beautiful? Yes. Were they functional? Yes. But they ended up having some deformities, disabilities, and this is why he is the Orisha or the Lwa of people with disabilities, birth defects, and just birth overall, because he birthed us, he made us, he created us in whatever image I guess he thought was just at the time, and he's responsible for essentially messing up and making humans imperfect. We all know at the end of the day, just because you have a disability, it doesn't mean you're a horrible person or you're a bad person, you're broken. But because Obatala was out here drinking and he had no business drinking on the job, he ended up making some people that had some abnormities and deformities. So that's how the origin story goes. Even worse, Obatala goes and falls asleep and he wakes up to a whole another person taking over his job, because God was like, listen, I don't got time for this. I'm just gonna say God to make things easier for me. When he fell asleep, he woke up to a man called Oduduwa. Now listen, I can't say that either. I apologize. And Oduduwa was out here doing his job because, Obatala, you messed up, okay? You messed up, okay? Oduduwa had basically taken over all the earth at this point. King of the earth, everything's going well, everything's going smoothly. And of course, Obatala was not too happy about this. So now, they fighting, they beefing, it's all it is riffraff. Okay, so Obatala gets the credit for making these people, but Adunduwa, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, gets the credit for breathing life into us, because we were kind of just, and Adunduwa kind of was like, let him live. Was running everything, fine and dandy, until Obatala woke up like, hold up, that's my science project. I shall get the A. So they start fighting. Everything just goes really haywire. Obatala's people became the Igbo people. The Igbo people, meanwhile, Odunduwa's people became the Ife people. After long battle and disagreements, I don't know why they couldn't just leave it like that. Sadly, Duduwa lost the battle. Obatala reclaimed the throne, and all was well. So Obatala, like I said, is the law of defects, disabilities, genetic disorders, and people who actually serve Obatala are forbidden. Because of all of that shit, the people who serve Obatala are forbidden to drink palm wine. From what I understood and what I heard, I don't think they're supposed to drink any alcohol really, but palm wine definitely off limits after what happened back in the day. In the Haitian religion, Obatala is part of the Rada clan, which is cool, calm, collected, old from the motherland clan of Loa. They are usually very, very calm, sweet, don't necessarily communicate with words. You kind of have to read between the lines with those Loa. Most people don't necessarily serve them because, let's be real, we in a world that's very, very fast paced. If it's not in our face, we don't understand what the hell is going on. Obatala reminds me of Dumbala, right? You know, Dumbala don't even talk. Dumbala's sitting here hissing at you, and you just gotta figure out what Dumbala trying to tell you, okay? Or even like a Papa Legba. But they gonna lead you to the water, but they're not gonna force you to drink. They're not gonna tell you what's on the wall. You just gotta climb the wall. It's a lot, okay? Obatala is a very calm spirit, a serene spirit, the spirit of pure light, the king and or queen of white cloth. If Obatala ever makes themselves known to you, you will see Obatala in a large white garment with a really big staff called an opaxero. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Can't miss Obatala. Obatala is huge, like really, really, like monumentally huge. Of course, if you guys are not aware, the consort of Obatala, aka wife of Obatala, is Yemaye. Hope I'm saying that right too. And let me just stop saying I hope I'm saying that right. Just understand I'm probably not saying anything right. I hope I'm saying something right. Please correct me down below if I'm not, but if I am saying something right, please congratulate me if I'm saying something right. That'd be great. But Yemawe is Obatala's wife. However, it is believed that in the land of Ife, Obatala had at least 200 different wives. Could we expect any different? I'm sorry, African men, Haitian men, all men, y'all are just, Jesus Christ. Obatala is thought to be androgynous, really long white hair. Of course, like I said, pure white garments. Now, for those that serve Obatala, I will say that that would be a very hard one, and that's probably why a lot of people don't serve Obatala. Although Obatala is a very popular law, it's very difficult to serve Obatala because you have to have a lot of patience and you have to be very tranquil and a calm person, because Obatala does not play with anybody that's a hothead. Like me, somebody like me would absolutely not be a good server of Obatala, because for me, I'm 0 to 100 real quick, okay? I don't think any Loa would want to deal with me in that Rada sector, because I am like 0 to 100 real quick. I'm like, I'm sure I'm a Barrow girl or a Petro girl. I'm very like, don't play with me. But when it comes to Obatala, only comes to those who are very, very calm, cool, collected, sweet, or at least striving and trying very hard to do so. And if you're not, he will not come to you. If for whatever reason you're serving Obatala and something happens and you just mad and you're trying to call to Obatala while you're mad, don't even try it. Obatala's not coming. Nothing is killing Obatala's high, okay? Just think of it that way. So lots of people who serve Obatala do have to like really practice self-restraint and self-control, because it's literally part of their lifestyle when serving Obatala. It's not going to be hard to find people that serve Obatala, because just like Obatala, they will be wearing white, okay? All white head to toe. Often Obatala is invoked to help those with anger management or raging situations that are very out of control, to cool down the situation. But of course, the person that is asking for the help must be calm when doing so. Can you imagine being mad about something, or like being like, look, Obatala, my daughter pissing me off. My daughter got an attitude. Can you please help? But it's like you got an attitude, so now Obatala looking at you like, you don't look too calm your damn self. Next case! But shout out to y'all, because the people that serve Obatala are literally some of the nicest people that you will meet in the Pantheon that serve, because they know that they will not get anything. When I'm telling you, they will not get anything if they do not maintain a cool head, if they do not act accordingly. You will never hear anything about someone who serves Obatala trying to send something negative after someone or being malicious to someone because it's just not in their nature, and they know that it's going to basically haunt them in the end, and it's gonna fuck them over. So Obatala is actually very good for legal troubles. So if you have a problem going on in court, Obatala, that's the one to call. Trust me, you'll win. Very good for mercy pleas. If you literally are suffering and you're sick, or just any other situation where you need people to have mercy on you, or you just need a miracle, Obatala will be there for you. If people are really upset with you, say you owe somebody $10,000, you know, little drug dealers out there, you got little nefarious drug deals, Obatala, alright? Obatala is gonna be there to calm those spirits. Obatala is just literally the grand mediator of all things. You never want to just invoke Obatala for bullshit. You don't want to bother Obatala. That's how most of the Radalawa are. They're not here for fun. They're not like the Pitchwell. They're not like regular spirits or regular Orishas or whatever where you could just call on them. Not saying that like there's some law that like to be bothered. I don't think any of them like to be bothered, but there's certain law where like you just really only want to invoke them when you truly need something, when you really need help, and of course when your attitude is in order, because if not, you're just gonna be wasting your time and the Lord gonna be looking at you like, why? Obatala loves offerings that are white of any kind for the most part, white foods that are not seasoned, coconut milk, white costumes, of course. I think regular milk is okay as well. White pumpkin, sandalwood incense is also very good. White candles, silver and ivory charms, or any type of jewelry that has Obatala on it is something that Obatala really, really likes. Animal offerings vary. White hen, snakes, pigeons, goats, slugs, snails. No offering should ever include alcohol, crabs, or beans. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Maybe Obatala got gas problem. But clearly we know why the alcohol is added. The question, but crab and beans, makone. Some makone. Someone comment down below about that one. And also, all the offerings should be made on white cloth while you're wearing white cloth. Yeah, it's a whole ritual, okay? You gotta be dressed and presentable to present these offerings to Obatala on white cloth. You can't just willy-nilly be wearing some damn gym clothes and think you about to offer Obatala some shit on some Dollar Tree pink plate. Proper things, white food, no seasonings, whatever, white bread, whatever it is that you're offering Obatala. It doesn't have to be elaborate. We're not talking about agua here. See, agua be out here having people spend their whole check. Okay, it don't gotta be elaborate. It just has to be part of the rules. White, bland, clean, white cloth, and you have to be presentable as well. With that being said, comment down below. What do you guys know about Obatala? Do you serve Obatala? And of course, just feel free to add any information.
I'll say something about that. It was an interesting presentation that she gave. She showed her personality in there. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm speaking for myself now. When I hear Obatala, for example, I have the same reaction, which is not much of a reaction, to like Abraham and Jesus and Muhammad and stuff. And I always feel bad about that. I always feel like, damn, I'm not as connected as I should be, or as I feel I should be, but it's just what it is. Brother Bakari, do you feel a connection when you hear Obatala and discussions of the Orishas?
I guess that's yes and no, and I would say yes because I went to church a couple times when I was little. And I wasn't made to go to church. I probably went when I was little, but I guess because I learned, voodoo was actually practiced in the black church. I don't necessarily know what Orishas, but if you go back and you just look, I don't know if you went to church when you was little or your age or not. Okay, so I'm 50. So when you go to church and you see all of the old women passing out and doing all that in church and say they're shouting, right?
Yeah.
It was not. Then once you study and learn, it wasn't 100% Christianity. Actually, it was mostly voodoo what they were doing, and we had to hide it inside of the Christian church. So it's certain things, not the show that I see today. So it's some of it when she say I feel a connection not just necessarily to the Orishas, but to some of the African spirituality and some of the systems that she was speaking of, just simply because of that.
I
If that
feel you
makes
on that.
sense.
Did you feel like you got anything additional from her presentation?
No, I heard, not really. I heard her connect voodoo or whatever with one of the Orishas with Jesus Christ and something with Islam, and I don't know exactly how they would go together, other than I'm practicing the slave owners' religion and I have to hide my traditional faith inside of their religion.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, no.
Jay, you're from the continent, but I do believe your belief system is different. What did you take from this presentation?
I uh, um, to be honest, the sister took some off it. If you
Mm,
understand what I mean, it was like someone. It was like a modern woman speaking of
hmm
ancient shit.
Concepts, yeah.
And it was it was, yeah, maybe it's watered down. It's maybe a word I want to use, but I want to say something funny. Oni said, You can go in Africa and nobody sees you, right?"
Hmm.
And this last trip that I took back home, I went there partially on invitation, because a seer was seeing certain things, and he proposed that I went there to take um, a treatment, you know,
Hmm.
of 9 days, and eventually I spent 6 weeks in his family house, and uh, yeah, again, only people even see what you dream, right? So I would. There was one time I had a dream about two jealous individuals here in the Netherlands, that try to water down some things that I made out of jealousy. And in this dream, I slaughtered them bloody. I woke up and even felt shame when he actually described these two brothers, how they looked. He said, "You had a troubled dream. Do you have beef with two individuals that are nearly white but not quite?" And yes, those two brothers are very light skinned, and they have a green, grayish eyes, right? Us Cape Verdeans are mixed, and those two guys even have English surnames. So, another time, when I was there, and I was looking. This was in 2016, and I was looking for a so-called marabu, as they call it in that region. I was looking. I was there for 3 weeks, and the last 3 days I was alone. I had taken two females with me, very troublesome individuals. But when they were gone, I had peace, and I had time to look for one, to take a look, right. So actually, I was looking for a seer, and I take that shit very serious. So and I'm you have the dark side, you have the light, the good side, the dark side, and I was too scared in those days, and I was constantly saying, "Yo, I don't I intend to stay friendly with the Most High." So I didn't quite pay attention, but I was looking for him, and he found us. Every morning I would stand up wake up very early, around 5, and I would smoke my cigarette. I would drink a cup of coffee to go to the toilet and take a shower immediately, right? So I would start the day clean,
Mhm.
and a cigarette and a cup of coffee would help the process, right? And there were children playing, and there was an old lady sitting in the chair, and toddlers were playing, and I thought, hey, that's a nice scene, and I took a photo. In the background, this marabu, and later on, my friend, my connection over there, he said, no, this one is very strong. I know him. He's been in the village before, but he was actually already making the medicine. So he, uh, on his antenna, or whatever you call it, or whatever the science, I see it as a sort of a science of, I don't know what it is, electromagnetic or whatever. But he picked up. He was in Gambia, and I was in Senegal, right? In the south, the part of Senegal, the south of Gambia. He was in Gambia. He picked up my call. I didn't even know he existed. He picked up my call, and that morning when he arrived, he was already making the medicine for what he thought that I needed. He was he to look. He used black-eyed peas, and not the seashells. He used black-eyed peas. He did something with numerology. He made he made something that when you sum every column or every row, it would end up in the same number. And he did like that, like you know like throwing numbers. It was a very powerful one, but it was a young dude. He was wearing jeans. He had a Chelsea, the soccer club, the British soccer club, Chelsea. He had a Chelsea shirt. He was smoking cigarettes like he was eating them, and he was listening to Cape Verdean music on his phone. So it was a brutal culture shock for me, right? Yeah, and those guys, they see like see. So don't go naked in the bush because that's a joke to Odie. But
Yes.
these guys, they do have certain powers that at least seeing, but also bend um, flows, bend energy, bend aura, mend your aura, or maybe even destroy. I'm told, and I know a few tricks. My father, let me call it marabu, but of course, that was in the 40s, on the Cape Verde Islands. One of such a dude was interested in my father, and he used to take him. He used to go pick up my father to go collect things that he needed to do his works. And so via my father and via people in Senegal, I understand that evil is very easy to do, and the good workers, they actually have to do work. It costs them energy. It's exhausting, etc. But to do evil is too easy for words. I know a couple of tricks, and I intend to stay friendly with the Most High. So I'm not going to share it, and I'm never going to practice it. But it's some sort of science. But again, to react on the sister, uh, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know this type of voodoo, that you
Mhm.
have certain deities with a name. I don't. What I have been in touch with my life is more about energies. So let me give one more example from the dude that was interested in my father. A sick person. People brought a sick person to him, and he was almost dead, like very sick. And what happened was this dude was a sailor, so he had made a lot of money, and he had bought a car. And a family member was jealous, and he went to an evil one to do evil stuff, right? So this healer, a good one thus. This healer said, "Oh, you remember that on that party when you came back from the ship, your brother became very jealous, and that ring that you were missing, he put it in a water tank. You have these water reservoirs, and that green stuff that grow on stones. I don't know how you call it in moss. Okay, how the moss grows on your ring, the sicker you get. So find that ring. It's in this and that tank, in that and that corner under a stone. Wash it with vinegar. Put it 3 days in the sunlight, and do this and that and some more, and then you will eventually heal again. It's that kind of stuff. So that guy was so powerful that he saw who did it, when it happened, where the ring was, and how to fix it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, my father was not a joker or a bragger, or my father was a very humble person. So he didn't make stuff up. And also what I saw in 2016, or what I saw this the 3 months, or the first 6 weeks of this past 3 months that I was in Senegal, it's all very serious. These people do have these powers.
Thank you for that, Jay. Let's welcome in Uwa Abantuam. Uwa, how are you this week? It's been a while. Your mic is muted if you're talking.
I'm doing okay. How about you guys?
Good. Uwa, you have some feedback noise. I'm gonna have to mute you. I gotta mute you. You gotta fix that sound thing. You got a lot of feedback coming in. After you fix it, I'll call back to you in a second.
Cut off YouTube, Ubuntu. Cut off YouTube, and just use the StreamYard.
Yeah. Oni, let's hear from you on this one. Do you connect with the African spiritualities, the etc., the Obatala, the Orishas? Do you connect with that?
Well, first I want to say this goes back to the last one, the other video that Mr. Untouchable was telling us to connect with the brother on. The issue is, like, this is why I say, this is why you don't give, no disrespect to this lady, but losers, you don't give losers too much damn play. You can't keep complimenting them when they do, because like this was a weird video. I know I was, low-key, joking with Erduli about, oh, he hating on sister or something, but like for real though, like this was incredibly boring. And the thing is that it reminded me of this. There's this woman. I just looked at her Twitter page. I just looked her up. Like her name is Lexual or something like that, right? And now she goes a little bit too far on the appeal to the masses, But there's this woman Lexual. She got 113,000 followers. Okay, basically she talks, she's doing feminist stuff and all that crap, but she talks, Black history, that, so on and so forth. But she does it with a cleavage, and she got a nice pair of tits. No, like, let's be honest, right? So she does it with a cleavage. She's a pretty woman. She probably does a little bit too much on the, sexuality thing. And maybe this is kind of like,
I'm sorry, what's the screen name again?
This brother's starving, but Lexual, you saw her before. Lexual. Well, her at is Lexual _ or something like that. But you just kind of search LEXUAL, and you probably saw her video once or twice. Kind of reminds you of that one sister in the conscious movement who was, I can't remember her name, but she was fine. You know what I mean? And so she would talk conscious stuff, and people would follow. People would like that. Now, the point being is that you sometimes have to have a good presentation. The thing with this sister is that the sister in the video, she's not bad looking per se. I mean, she is overweight. I'm not gonna lie and say she ain't overweight, right? She could be pretty better looking, and she could obviously, if I had her rack and her look, I would just show cleavage. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that she has to, and I'm not saying that it's like, and I don't mind if she doesn't, because like most of us, we guys, we don't really be on the video like that. Although today I was showing off the guns, you know how I do. But like the thing is that, unfortunately, that's just the reality. What she's doing right now is appealing to losers, people who are like, oh, you're quirky, I'm quirky, ha ha ha, and she's like overdoing it, but it's gonna work. Yeah, I see the comments. But it's gonna work. But at the same time, it's like what I would say is that if you are going to do this, if you're going to present some good information and you don't have the aesthetic, just hire people. Because nobody else is going to, like, nobody's really going to look at this video. We kind of just sat through it. For whatever reason. Like, how long was this video? Oh, okay, it was long because I thought it felt long, but it was long. But we kind of sat through it because more or less we have to. How many views it got actually?
Sorry, I was looking up lecture. My bad. Hold on. It got 4,200, like 4,300 views.
All right, that's not bad, obviously, but I mean, it's not the best, but it's not bad. How many followers she got? She got a pretty big page too. How much is it? 40,000?
40K, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So like, this is gonna work in this day and age because of the loser stuff, But like realistically, if you were like, when I think back to that, not just the twerking video, but also just the reality of how white folk do their commercials, they do their ads. They got the professional setting, and they got the models, they got the actors, they got the emotions, with the actors with the range of emotions in their face and all that kind of stuff. Like, white people put a big deal into their propaganda, and then we honestly, relatively, just don't. And then here, this style that she's doing, like how we do it, on the podcast is okay because we obviously, giving our voices, and that's what people want to hear. Right. Oh, that's the, well, if it depends on how you see that, if you want to look at the metrics or whatever. But all the same, what she's doing with the camera angle, the zoom in on the face, the if you blah blah blah, the I'm gonna go into AAVE, African American vernacular once in a while, and then I'm gonna go into he playing and blah 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 blah. That whole methodology, that whole delivery, like, people are gonna like it only on the basis of liking her. And they're not real, and like very few people are gonna like her. It's more so going to be, I don't know if you can look through the comments, mostly going to be probably black women who have like a persecution complex, and that's like that happens to be a large amount of black women, but it's still kind of just, and actually it might not even just be black women. I think like other women, like Asian women and white women are going to be, oh, you're so, blah, 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 blah. But like the reality is that it's quirky. Nobody really cares for it. It's not really interesting. And if anything, like what I would do, like it's just not going to work, like, sure, you could get a few people, you could get your, you get your 40,000, you get your 100,000, you could be whatever, but it's just not going to work.
I'll say this. I got to interject here. I'll say this. If she did it in one of those real snappy type videos where she was doing that little quirky stuff, but it was snappy, like bam, 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 the camera angles shift and stuff like that, it will work. Because that's what they do on like Instagram reels and all this kind of stuff. It's more snappy. It's a shorter video. You get right to the point. Like Marcus Garvey says in the chat, put up some visuals. That will work. That will be more appealing. But let's forget about that for a second. As far as the practices and the the deities. Do you connect with those deities and practices only?
Personally, well, shit. Personally, like I want to. Erzuli's talking shit. But anyway, personally, I want to, but I've been kind of low key a little bit on the materialist, especially after I read that Nkrumah book where he's just kind of like everything is matter and material. So I've been kind of low key, like not as spiritualist as I want to be. I still recognize the value of spirituality, but I also realize that a lot of it is kind of stories. A lot of it is kind of just ancestral worship. You know what I mean? And so when she pointed out Obatale was a real human being, it's like, yeah, a lot of people are doing ancestral worship. I think Dr. Ben said it pretty clearly when he said the original spirituality was people worshiping people like recognizing their ancestors. And that's the thing about, I think Jose was talking about, you can see your dreams and that kind of stuff. A lot of us, especially those of us who lost a parent, right? We see our parents, or we saw our parents originally in dreams and that kind of stuff. And what that does is it gives you some sort of thinking along the lines of, well, what is this experience that we're living and all that kind of stuff. And I could see that running away from itself and becoming spiritualities of today. But at the same time, I also, I'm also like deeply materialist in a sense. So it's like I kind of just see it as, human beings trying to cope with our existence.
Yeah.
And so I don't really like add too much weight to it, although I would love to. But realistically, like me personally, I like when I think about spirituality, I would probably try to connect with like the ancient Africans kind of stuff. Not so much Yoruba, Igbo, even if that was my more
recent,
my more recent ancestry.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about it too, actually. That's exactly I like how you stated that. That's exactly how I kind of feel about it too. Let's go to Mr. Untouchable. Mr. Untouchable, would say you.
No, I take a different position from the brothers. I understand that the brothers are materialists. And they don't necessarily believe in the spirituality side of the Pan African perspective. They have a materialist bend, and that's okay. I am coming from the perspective that our people are deists, and I think I've been consistent with that, and the numbers don't lie. She has been able, with the poor video that the brothers were suggesting, she's been able to garner 42,000 views, and she has 40,000 subscribers. So I mean, the numbers is not lying in comparative.
Doing better than me, right?
Well, I mean, doing better than a whole lot of us. Yeah, if we really want to be honest with that. You know what I mean? So obviously, she is saying something that has garnered the attention of many people. So I believe that in essence that it has to do with a little bit of the spirituality bend that she takes as far as dealing with the black world and approaching the black world. And I understand my materialist brothers see things differently, but I take a different view. It was for me. It was boring as well, if I was to be completely honest with you. But there are some people who seeking, as far as African spirituality, this kind of information, obviously, and the numbers speak for itself. Res ipsa loquitur, as they say in the law. But I'm curious about is my prince from Port-au-Prince, what he has to say about this. But I don't know if he's gonna come on and give his alternative view as to what his Haitian sister had to say about this video. But I think it's an interesting video. I take a different view than the brothers on the panel.
Yeah. I think it's healthy. I think like I would tell people, and I grew up in an Anglican church. I was a church boy till I was 20, and I always had questions about all that kind of stuff. It just didn't resonate, and that's kind of the term I'm trying to use here. Like a lot of it doesn't particularly resonate with me, and I feel a ways about that sometimes. I feel like it should, But I just haven't found that, I haven't found that frequency yet, right? I'm also curious to hear from Uzuli because this is a part of his culture and upbringing. But I gotta welcome the birthday boy before it hits midnight. Let's welcome in Kevin Carre to the panel. Kevin, how are you tonight?
Hey, greetings. Yeah, it was a great day, beautiful day as usual.
Good,
Happy
good,
birthday, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. 21 years old again, man. 21.
21 for the third time. Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate um, Kevin Carre joining us. Kevin Carre, did you happen to see this whole video just now?
No, I just got in.
Okay. I'll get to you in the next prompt. So let's get to Azuli. Azuli is of Haitian descent, African by way of Haiti. Azuli, a couple of things. When you watched that video, what did you think about the presentation? Number one. Number two, what did you think about the presentation of the deities? Was it accurate? Etc. And does it resonate with you still? Do you still practice this spiritual system? Go ahead.
I'm gonna say the presentation is trash. Like I was annoyed from the second, like from 2 minutes in. I think she's more. I think she's more into, I guess, trying to be quirky than telling the thing. And then she didn't really explain the. If you don't know about the culture, I guess this could be information for you. But me, since I know about that, it was just annoying, and she was just annoying. Like the little camera, the mispronunciation. I think she was doing that because I guess to appeal to her fans or whatever. So, number one, like Haitian people don't practice the voodoo culture. Does not Obatala is not part of the voodoo culture. So,
Oh, okay.
let me not say that. Well, I've never heard people talk about Obatala and the culture. Maybe it is in some different part of Haiti, maybe, but mainly no. Dambala, the person she said, is kind of the representation of Obatala. So there's like the she's talking about the Obatala was the creator of the people, and the voodoo they say Dambala is the creator of the people or the earth or the world or whatever. So those two are different. Number two, it's like she seems to be. She says Obatala is considered Jesus. First of all, this is what she's wrong about that because when you look at Kemet culture, the Kinam and Heket created human from mud, and she blew life into them. Like Kinam is the male spirit who created human with the mud, and Heket, which is I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Heket is the female counterpart, blew life into. So she went straight to the Abrahamic religion. She didn't even go back. So I've never heard that the Orisha people talk about say Obatala is a representative of Jesus. So I don't understand that. So, but after that, you said about the reason a lot of you have disconnected from it is because they took you off from your square. They implemented the Christian culture in your mind, and then after that, when you're trying to get rid of the Christian culture, you fall away from the African or Caribbean spirituality. So it's even me myself. I'm kind of detached from it. I know a lot of the knowledge. I know some of the gods of like when she was another thing she was talking about. She was talking about the Rada spirit. So in the Haitian culture, the Rada and the Petrol. The Rada, she said that this is what I don't like when people don't know what they're talking about and they just spew this, and she has 41,000 followers and they're gonna believe her. So they got the spirit. There's two type of spirit. There's the offensive spirit and the defensive spirit. The petrol is the offensive spirit, which is gonna go and like if you ask that energy to come, if you ask the energy to help you with something, they're gonna go on the offensive to attack. If you even the Rada are the cool spirit. They don't go on the offensive, they go on the defensive. If you understand, like you might play defense to win the game and you might play offense to win the game. And in the Haitian culture, they say the Rada spirit are from Guinea, which is in West Africa. So the Rada spirit are more royal, more regal. The Petra spirit are the spirit that they had to call on for the Haitian Revolution because of the slavery. So they had to do that. But what she gets to tell you is that the Petra and the Rada are just the same spirit in different environment. If you understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna use this one Loa in Haiti. She's called Ezeli. So there's Ezeli Freda and there's Ezeli Danto. Ezeli Freda is the god of love, god of beauty, god of, let me not say God, the spirit of beauty, the spirit of love between men and women, the spirit of looking beautiful, of smelling good. But Ezeli Danto is the spirit of mother and children. She'll cut your throat if you destroy her children. You call for her, she go on the offensive. So it's like this young lady is talking. I gotta give her her little respect because I guess she's reaching to the culture, and then maybe she'll find out later on and get deeper in it. I saw some of her videos, but like sometimes people, like Oni said, they just do this thing for the likes. So I don't know if she's doing it for the likes, but at the end of the day, some people might learn from it. But back to what I was saying, like I feel a lot of us have been cut off from it, including me. So I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm deep into it like a lot of people are deep into it, but I've been cut off from it. And then a lot of things happens that sometimes a lot of people use this shit for wrong against their own people. They don't use it like the ancestors used it back in the days. So it's like I would say a lot of time, and the people, certain people that practice that, they act like the Bloods and the Crips. They destroy each other, but they don't want to destroy the person that's putting them in that situation. If you understand what I'm saying. So
absolutely.
So it's like
word, yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, let's say, oh, my son got a scholarship to go to this good university. They mad because your son got a scholarship. So you know what they're gonna do to mess up your son. So it's like, so that's why it's like very. I'm not gonna lie, I've been in a very weird place. Like, and like I'm kind of not laid back, but it's just like it's like that spirituality is the technology that I believe that could only free us. But we are so diluted, so messed up in the head. So doing stuff for money and all of that is I don't know, bro.
Razuli,
Yes.
someone you and I know well, said to me a little while ago that the issue, and they come from a Seventh-day Adventist Christian background. They said the issue with the African spirituality, or Vodou in particular, is that you only see people using it for ill will, or far too often. All you
Not
see
true.
is the ill will part. No, this person is speaking from their perspective, right? That far too often, what they usually see voodoo used for is ill will. And I remember a time back in college days, Ozuli and I was talking to a Haitian woman. I won't name who it is, but you know who it is, and Kevin Carre knows. An Haitian woman was saying, of course, we use voodoo to cast wicked spells on people, because if your neighbor's doing well, you want to be able to do, as well as your neighbor, or you want your neighbor to be like you. So yes, you will put a bad spell on your neighbor to get what they have, and this, that, and the other. So what do you say about that? Like, a lot of people kind of see that the usage of it, and I think this is why a lot of people kind of disconnect from it, whether it's true or not, that's a prevailing thought or deed or action. But for those who perceive to see that this voodoo and stuff is just used for bad things, what do you say to that?
Well, I'm going to say this. The power, the Haitian spirituality, voodoo, or whatever you want to call it, voodoo, hoodoo, I think, let me go, has been sullied, has been destroyed through propaganda. So,
yes,
am
a
I going to,
spell.
yes, am I going to say that when people use voodoo to do well, it's never really published, like in the news. But when one story comes out and say, "Oh, somebody did voodoo to do this," then it's over publicized all over the world. And yes, there's a lot of people in that culture who do stuff like that to hurt each other. But this is what I'm just saying: like, these people have been programmed by the powers that be to use it against each other. So I'm not
Yes,
gonna.
Also Christians and most Muslims has cast a spell on it, like put it in a dark corner. So people that come from those two corners, they will interpret it only as bad. So when they reach out for it, it will only be to cast spells on other people.
So yes, and so this the spirit the thing that says is that the Haitian Revolution happened and then they forgot the spirits. So I guess some the legend said the spirit turned their back on us. So just like the spirit might have turned their back on a lot of us because we neglected them and went to the other religion. So one other thing that this young lady was talking about that I didn't like, she was talking about fluidity, like the
I wondered if you were going to comment on that. That the deities were gender fluid, right?
Gender fluid. That's what that's what she's trying to say. But this is not really true. What is it is that as a man, you could a female spirit could come in you during a ceremony, but that doesn't mean that the spirit is gender fluid because in the culture, Ezuli is a woman spirit. Ogun, which is Ogu. Okay, Ogu is another spirit that came from the Ogu, spirit of war and justice, is a male spirit. Just like that male spirit could go into a female. So let's say a female is engaged in a fight and she can't win. She calls on Ogu. Ogu is a male spirit. Ogu's gonna come inside of her, is gonna what you call it, like mount her and help her fight the war or whatever. That doesn't mean Ogu is fluid. So this is like when she did that, it's like yo, they're very tricky, these people, and this is what it annoyed me about that, saying that after she said Obatala is fluid, she didn't say Obatala had 2,000 wives or 200,000 wives. So this is a weird thing, but I do say that yes, a lot of people from our culture they say they use it for bad. I'm not gonna say that, but there's a lot of people that use it to heal people, to give people like Jose just said, like if your grandfather want to speak to you about certain stuff to give you help, they do that. So yes, what we see in the media, boom, is this and that. I'm gonna say something. I was watching. There's this Neil Hurston. What's his name? Zora Neale Hurston. She wrote a book, and I'm not gonna lie. New Orleans have something called hoodoo, right?
Yeah.
And the hoodoo culture, I've seen them use hoodoo. The way she was describing in the book was to take another person's woman, take the money. So, like, maybe it's a psyche that we all suffering. Because even though it happened in voodoo, and it's probably happened in African spirituality too. But hoodoo's a supposedly American type, African American type of
it's a derivative of Obia and voodoo. Yes.
Yeah. So thing, and even what you just said, Goku, like Obia, they say Obia and Jamaican people. Jamaicans say Obia is bad, but this is what they don't tell you, and this is why I made the connection between voodoo and the spirituality in Jamaica. Obia, they say, is does bad to people, but there's another part of the Obia. I forgot the name. It was just in my mind. So Obia has a counterpart. So Obia might be more the ferocious part, and there's the other part that's the cool spirit. I forget Miao. It's called Miao or Miao or whatever. So in all our spirituality, there's the fiery and there's the cool spirit. So this young lady really, like, I don't know if she means good or if she's doing it for clout or she was irking me. So I don't know.
In the chat, Trigger Happy 262 says we don't have a culture that is conscious of itself. That goes for all African people, or at least a culture we control or powerful. Also, to address the ill will part, I think a spirituality or practice that is perpetrated and used in a neo-colonial or settler colonial setting will always have those motives. I actually like what Trigger Happy said just now about that. It's a setting. The setting can be an influence on the usage. I actually like that. Marcus Garvey's is the way he says, if it worked, why didn't it end racism and enslavement?
So Marcus Garvey said this. I guess so. I would go with his name, Marcus Garvey. If Marcus Garvey Why didn't? Oh, first of all, it did. According, if you read if you know the history of the culture of Haitian culture, they say they use a lot of that to fight the revolution. Whether it continue, I just said it. After they did that, a lot of the higher, the politicians, the leaders, just said we're not doing it. They did away with voodoo. They blacklisted it and put it underneath the dirt or whatever. So it did work. And if I've seen, you just got to challenge the energy the right way. Just like if you channel the Bloods and Crips the right way, maybe they'll change the society. You just have to channel it the right way. For you to say, "Oh, why we still? Your name is Marcus Garvey. If Marcus Garvey didn't work, why is we did this way?" We could say the same thing about Malcolm X, the same thing about Martin Luther King, the same thing about Nat Turner. It doesn't make no sense.
She went on to say it didn't end the payment to France for 500 years. Trigger Happy says also, just as you can make an argument that it didn't end slavery, it was integral in many of our resistance movements and victories. So once again, that doesn't make sense, nor is it fair, right? Let's go to Shoot the Breeze topic number 8. If we want to discuss this,
can I share some funny stuff?
1 second. If we want to expand on this, let's create another Shoot the Breeze topic for next week, and we can expand some more to have a long conversation. Jay, I'll give you a few minutes. You have the last word.
Oh wait, I wanted to say something too.
Jay, go
ahead. John the Baptist. What happened? Jesus and his fellas heard of him. There's this powerful dude a couple of village along the way. Shall we go take a look? Yes, let's go. Okay, so they arrive at a seer because he looked and he saw that Jesus, his chi was stronger, and that the roles should actually be reversed. Like, hey, you're a stronger seer and healer than I am. You should be doing this to me. And after that, he gives him a bath, like they do in our spirituality, right? The type of baths to channel your energy and in the right way again. So literally, it's a word game, but it's done literally. The Christianity watered it down. Another example is Nebuchadnezzar. He was tired of scammers, so he locked up all the so-called seers, and Daniel was one that actually could see. So he didn't tell the dream anymore, like explain to me the dream. No, he said, you're gonna tell me what I dreamt, just like the dude in Africa did to me. You're gonna tell me what I dreamt, and you're gonna explain what it means. So there's one, and I've been warned by a seer from Mali. So she actually works for powerful people in Mali, and she's a representative here in Europe. And she warned me about this part in Senegal, because it's called rebel territory, right? And the people have become bitter, so they reach out to the dark side because of this long struggle that they have, and so yeah, there's certain, when you go to Africa, prepare, wash. Channel your energy. That's what I wanted to. Another thing, Guinea, what Europeans call Baphomet. So this figure with these goat legs and a hermaphrodite human with goat heads in this area, they call them Guinea. So it's not one thing Baphomet, but it are many.
Oh,
okay.
That's what I wanted to share.
Okay, thanks, Jay, for that.
Well, I wanted to just add quickly, if you don't mind. So yeah, I decided to look into this sister's account, because I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of followers to being that boring, Anyway, I clicked on it. I looked at her top videos, most popular videos. A lot of it was on mermaid shit, Do mermaids exist? That was like 180 something thousand views. But then you go to her about and you see she has a main channel. You go to her main channel, it's like 300,000 subscribers there. And it's just a bunch of like, bullshit, bullshit opinions and all that kind of stuff. But like, I think what we're seeing in regards to why she has so many followers on this thing and why so many views is because she is a personality that, a lot of people take to for, nonsense, that she looks into. She just has this separate channel where she kind of goes into her little more personal kind of thing. But like most of it is also just like mermaid shit, and that's where people like mostly gravitate towards. So this was like one of those videos that, like people do ignore for what it worth. I'm just going to point that out.
I appreciate that, Oni.
The mermaid she is referring to is in Haitian voodoo they call Mami Wata.
Yeah, Mami Wata.
I think that Erzuli could confirm this.
No, they don't call them Mami Wata in the Haitian culture, because Mami Wata is from the African spirituality, but which is the same thing. They call them Silen, Rabalen, Simbi, Simbi into the Haitian culture. But before I'm going to say something. Marcus Garvey is talking about I'm an atheist. She wants to attack the African spirituality and all these things like that. What did your atheism do for you? Is she Jamaican? Yeah, just got your independence in 1979. Stop it. I'm older than your. Stop it.
No, she's a woman. She's not Jamaican, and Jamaica got independence in '62. 62.
Yeah. And some of our brothers and sisters in the Pan-African and Gaviai movie, they don't subscribe to spirituality, and they have a right to. I don't want us to.
They don't subscribe to the African spirituality or whatever.
Not all of us, not even Koku. You know what I mean? They don't. I mean, I won't speak for Koku, but some of our brothers and sisters don't subscribe to that shit.
She just said something. We're making excuses for Orisha shortcoming, but want to give 100% backing. Okay, I could understand where she's coming from for that, but I just said, if you turn your back on the people, on the spirit that freed you, why should they help you? But then again,
I agree with you.
But then again, she's an atheist. What has atheism do for the freedom of black people all over the world?
But I agree with you.
We're all in some bullshit.
Personally, I agree with you. I agree with you too. But you have to remember that all of our brothers and sisters don't subscribe to the spiritual belief. They call it spookism, and they have a right to. You know what I mean? But we have a spiritual base. But and we have a right to too. So my
question is, what did Jamaica do? I'm just trying to figure that out.
No, my bad. But they have a right to. They have a right to, brother. You know what I mean? So you can't. They have to have a space to. Even though they don't have a spiritual base, they still are brothers and sisters, and they have the right to not subscribe to it.
So what? She's my brothers and sister. I have the right to criticize her too. She said some funny. She said some funny shit. She said talk about if it didn't end the payment to friends for 500 years. What does that have to do with anything? You're atheist. You still oppressed. What did your atheism do for yourself? I don't care if she's my brothers and sister.
All right.
That shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like she said just now, she respects the Orishas over Jesus, but she takes it kind of like the Anansi stories. I don't knock it. I'm not a fervent believer. I do feel like I should be more connected, more close, but it doesn't resonate with me at the time. And that's just what it is.
It doesn't resonate, Goku, because we've been severed from it. We've been severed and programmed. We're
jaded too. A lot of us who are Pan-African and Gaviites are jaded by it.
And jaded. So I'm gonna say this. There's this guy that I read. I think I mentioned it before. He's an African. I was reading this guy. This guy is from Africa. I forget the phrase. He said, "Yo, he saw somebody one time. Let's say, and Goku, I'm saying that because you know the location. Let's say downtown Brooklyn, right? Mm-hmm. He said, "Yo, you want to ride? I'm going to Staten Island." The guy said, "Nah, I don't want to go. I'm good." By the time he made it to Staten Island in his car, he met the guy over there walking. And I have several people in my country that told me the same story.
Yeah.
So for this person to be like, "Yo, I get what she's saying," but also to understand that it's a complex situation.
let's bring this topic back up, because I like the spirited, no pun intended, I like the spirited conversation about it. Let's bring it back up next week. And Marcus Garvey, you should join the panel next week. We won't do it now because it's late already, but next week let's come back with some follow up to this. Erzuli, you come through, and Marcus Garvey is the way comes through, and let's have a better understanding, a voice to voice understanding on this topic next time. All right. There's a lot of comments in the chat. I won't read them right now. You guys can go through. Make sure you guys like the video. This conversation is dope. Someone was here earlier trying to rush the conversation. You can't rush some of these conversations. You have to let these things play out. We might have to continue it if it goes too long, but you can't rush it. And I think there's a beauty, even in that conversation that we had just now for that topic, there's a beauty in that conversation. So make sure to like the video, share it to your peoples so they could get in on the conversation as well, and so that they could come for the follow-up and bring in their thoughts too. And in saying that, let me thank the learning curve for being here. Marcus Garvey is the way for being here during that conversation, and Trigger Happy for being here during that conversation. We're going to go to Shoot the Breeze number 8 tonight because time. I'm trying not to have you guys here till 2 in the morning. I don't mind it, but I feel like sometimes you guys do mind it. So